let's get into the news. So I saw this article. This was a very articulate article. At least I think. I didn't read it yet. But it looks really cool. So I was like, I'll read this on the show. So here I am. Medieval bones tell a stark tale of hard work and physical trauma. This is from CNN here, so bear with us. Social inequality was recorded on the bones of medieval residents in Cambridge, England. A new study of hundreds of sets of human remains in the city has revealed. Researchers studied the remains of more than 300 individuals from a variety of social backgrounds, buried in 3 different city cemeteries from the 10th to the 14th centuries. Now again, I don't need to tell you that fucking capitalism and hierarchies and, you know, like the feudalism version of that shit. I don't need to tell you that shit's fucked up. But again, we're gonna, like, if you were to dig up the bones of you or like your family, you'd be seeing some very similar stuff. Let me just tell you, like, again, like your body is breaking apart. Your bones are brittle. You're not getting enough nutrients, right? That's how it's been for a while. Right? Ever since, like, we started organizing cities, we just decided, someone decided, hey, I'm going to fuck this up for everyone else. Right? Like, there's a couple ancient cities that are, like, you know, like maybe 40, 50,000 years old, right? There's a couple of these ancient cities that looked communistic. Like, every house is the same. Every room size is the same, you know, given small variations, right? There is no, like, kingdom. There is no castle. Right? And then all of a sudden, you see these dumb assholes going like, I'm the king in the castle, I'm the king in the castle. And it's like, what? You're the what? And then it's like, I was touched by Jesus Christ. I am like, you were what? You were touched by Jesus Christ? Like, so these people all of a sudden just started making up some dumb bullshit, and then it's been downhill from there, right? So this is why I'm an anarchist. Like, fuck that dumb bullshit. So the team from the University of Cambridge examined bones from a parish graveyard for working people, a charitable hospital where the ill and destitute were laid to rest, and a frere for the wealthy. A frere? What the fuck? Imagine, like, you're such a pompous douchebag, right? Let me look up this word. Fucking look this word up, no less. Frere. Like, oh, yes, I'm king in the castle. Look at me. I'm very frere. Fucking frere. A building or community occupied by or consisting of friars. Well, what the fuck is a frere? A friar? A friar is a brother and member of one of the mendicant orders founded in the 12th or 13th. What? Frere? Like, who are these motherfuckers? Oh, yes, I'm a frere. Like, what? You're a what? Like, you sound like a douchebag. Seriously. X-ray analysis of these bones revealed varying levels of hardship, accident, occupational injury, or violence across the social spectrum of the 3 sites remained excavated at the Hospital of St. John the Evangelist, and a 12th century house for the needy contained the fewest fractures. Many residents had skeletal evidence of chronic illness like tuberculosis and would have been unable to work. But guess what? They were worked to death anyway. Some 44% of working people had bone fractures compared with 32% in the Frary. Oh, I'm in the Frary. Oh, fuck it. Like, humans are such fucking fickle motherfuckers. Like, imagine your life has no meaning to the point where you have to come up with a fucking word called frary. It's like, oh, I know, I'm a frary now. Or a friar, whatever the fuck. I'm gonna go live in a frary. I'm sorry, it's just dumb shit. And these people had better lives. Like, so that's the thing. It's like, all right, I'm a frary now, and I guess, you know, I all of a sudden I've got a 15% less likelihood of having bone fractures now that I've self-declared myself a fucking frere. I'm sorry, like, religion, if you're a religious person, I'm happy for you, right? I'm glad that, you know, you're doing whatever you think. But goddamn, what a dumb fucking sack of shit this is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know, I'm just in a mood right now. I'm a hoob in a mood. But seriously, like, religion is just so stupid. Like, it literally is the dumbest shit imaginable. Alright, so now, like, 5,782 years ago, or whatever, right? Like, God came down and, like, wrote the commandments or whatever. Like, what? Like, what? You believe that? You believe that God came down from the sky and wrote some shit on a stone or whatever? Like, how dumb do you think I am? Not only do you believe that, but you're gonna try to utilize that to, like, get yourself, like, a rank up in society? Like, that's what all these crusades were about and shit. It's all about, like, I want to be in the Frary. Like, I'm gonna believe in this dumb bullshit so that I can live in the Frary and not have bone fractures. I don't know, man. By comparing the skeletal trauma of remains buried in various locations within a town like Cambridge, we can gauge the hazards of daily life experienced by different spheres of medieval society, said Jenna Dittmar, lead author of the study published Monday in the American Journal of Physical Anthropology. I love saying, like, those words. Like, in the American Journal of Physical Anthropology. That's just a fun, like, string of words to pronounce. We can see that ordinary working folk had a higher risk of injury compared to the friars. The fucking friars! Ugh. Like, it's amazing how a word, like, 800 years ago, I'm a friar! Oh, yes, I am! And then now, you're just a burger flipper. Like, you're working at McDonald's, like, you're at a frying grill or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm a friar, I get $7.25 an hour. All of a sudden, it's like crazy how words mean literally nothing. Anyway, we can see that ordinary working folk at a higher risk, blah, 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 the friar. Their benefactors or the more sheltered hospital inmates. Dittmar, a research associate at the University of Cambridge MacDonald Institute. Fucking MacDonald Institute, what? For archaeological research. Now, again, I just want to say, you gotta, like, everything with a grain of salt. I just want to give y'all a little bit of, like, a little story time. So, the people that originally discovered fossilized remains of Homo sapiens in Africa and so forth, originally, like, said that, they when they discovered these remains in these ancient civilizations in, like, the 1800s, right, in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, they utilized all of these discoveries to find a way to prove to themselves and everyone around them that, oh yeah, black people are inferior. Look, they've always been inferior. Here's the fucking skull from 100,000 years ago, right? Like, so, like, I just want to say, like, there's a lot that you can interpret from these studies, but you should always just try to get the base facts, and then, if there is that kind of, like, opinion, read it, understand it, and then understand that that person has an agenda, of which could be good, could be bad, but you just don't know unless, you look them up. These were people who spent their days working long hours doing heavy manual labor. Labauer, no less. They're doing labauer. Imagine, like, you're such a fucking, like, prissy asshole, right? Like, that's what you are. If you write labauer, like, you could just remove the U and the word is, like, the same, and it just, like, takes less time to write. But, oh, look at me, Labauer. Fucking Labauer, dumb shit. In town, people worked in trades and crafts such as stone masonry or blacksmithing, or as general Labauerers. Outside town, many spent dawn to dusk doing bone-crushing work in the fields or tending livestock. I wonder if they were feeding their livestock high-fructose corn syrup on a daily basis, I wonder. The team found that physical trauma was prevalent across the social spectrum, but things were the toughest for the poorest people. Who'd have thunk, right? That's an unbelievable postulation of information there. Who bore the brunt of physical labor. All of it. Whoa! Whoa! Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, so Labauer is in quotes. So these people quoted them saying Labauer. And then now, whoever's writing for CNN, backing me up, using labor correctly, physical labor. There you go, bringing it back. Still, the most extreme injury was spotted on a friar, again with these motherfuckers, who had complete fractures halfway up both his femurs, while violence-related skeletal injuries were found in about 4% of the population. We can see the inequality recorded on the bones of medieval Cambridge residents. However, severe trauma was prevalent across the social spectrum. Life was toughest at the bottom, but life was tough all over. Yeah, I mean, again, that's an interesting story. And again, this is stuff that, like, I want to highlight. But again, like, it's always been this way. It's always going to be this way. Unless, like, we actually, like, stop doing this shit. Like, seriously, what is a frary? Like, what is like, I'm the king in the castle? Like, what is that? Like, what? You're a what? Wait, okay, so let me get this straight. Let me see if I understand this. So, you're the king in the castle, motherfucker, and because you said you're the king in the castle, all of a sudden I need to give you my money? What? Like, seriously, these motherfuckers should be laughed out of town. Imagine, like, you've got, like, fucking like 100,000 fucking people working in the fields, and then this dumb king in the castle walks around with his stupid coat and this dumb stick, you know, like they have the royal scepter or whatever. They walk around with the stick, they go, and I'm the king in the castle, right? It's like what if we all just, like, instead of, like, taking that at face value, just, like, ran this guy out of town, like, kept throwing tomatoes at him until he, like, left town, and then overrun the castle and turn it into, like, a hotel or something, you know? But, like, I don't know, man, like, this has been thousands of years of beta males. Like, that's what this really amounts to, is thousands of years of beta males. Like, what are you really gonna let the king in the castle tell you what to do and ruin you, your life and your children's lives? Really? Really? Because some dumb frairy was like, oh, look at me, I'm religious, and I'm better than you. Like, what? I don't know, man. Again, I'm just in a little bit of a giddy mood right now, but seriously. Bones discovered showing that poor people had it the roughest. Who'd have thunk, right? Never would have seen that possibly coming. And I'm glad that now we've been given that beautiful information. How's everyone doing? Are y'all liking my attitude right now, or is this an off put?